charitable remainder trust, which is a great option. If you're looking to cash out your crypto and you do want to leave an impact or make an impact, a charitable remainder trust is a great way to go about it. You can't hold crypto in a charitable remainder trust though. So what you would do, ideally, if you wanted the use of those funds to be able to make an impact, is you would actually set up a foundation first or a public charity first, because you have to name the charitable component or where you're going to be making the donations out of the charitable remainder trust at the time that you set it up. If you want the use of the funds and you understand, like, look, I want to make an impact in my community or I have this cause, and you might have a charity that you already want to work with, right? Like, that's great. But if you want much more control, so public charity takes donations from other private foundations and other people, and then they do public good with that. It's a lot more transparent with a public charity versus a private foundation. Private foundation is required to donate a minimum of 5% of the proceeds that it holds each year to public charities and other philanthropic focuses. But the private foundation, you can put your family members as people on the board for that. They can choose who that money goes to. If you make a donation of your crypto to a charitable remainder trust, which sounds great, the charitable remainder trust has to sell that crypto. It's too risky. It's too volatile. It doesn't fit the investment parameters that are required inside of a charitable remainder trust. They're very conservative. It has to be mutual funds, money market stuff. There has to be a certain diversification standard that's met within that. And it has to be yield bearing so that on an annual basis or quarterly basis, you can pay out dividends to yourself. There's two types of charitable remainder trust. One that pays you first and then the charity second. And the other way is the other way around. It pays the charity first and then pays you second. But you do get a lot of tax benefits. So let's say, your XRP coin, whatever you got, goes to $1 million. You donate it in kind. Don't sell it first because you're going to deal with the taxes first if you do it. Donate it in kind at whatever amount it is to the charitable remainder trust. Hopefully, again, you've set up a foundation before you set up the charitable remainder trust so that you get all the benefits here. But you donate it in kind, and then the charitable remainder trust would sell the assets and get the cash to then structure it the right way. If you sell it before you donate it to the trust, you have to pay the taxes on that, and you get the write-off, but it doesn't work out as well as you would hope it would. So I hope that in the future, I think XRP will be a tier 1 asset. I think that it'll be much more stable later on, and it'll probably be a riskless investment in the eyes of the investment banks, like gold and U.S. treasuries. And if that ends up being the case, I'm sure that your charitable remainder trust will be able to hold XRP, maybe even XLM or some of these other ones later on after we have full clarity. They're used and they're a high stable value.